Sinistea and Polteageist are two drink-dwelling ghost Pokemon enclosed in a teacup and teapot. So what would it look like if we changed what kind of drink they were based on to make a Sinistea and Polteageist of every type? Hey everyone, Brandon here. So a little while back, the artist Eve.here, aka Ethan, had started making a bunch of different Sinistea and Polteageist forms, starting with two from his collaborative project with PokeTour, the Cadia region. Feeling inspired, I hopped on board this forms quest and collaborated with Ethan to bring all these different T-boys to life. And if you like what you see, be sure to check out Ethan over on Instagram, they do great work. Anyway, let's just get right into it with the Sinistea that inspired this video. Cadian Sinistea, which is a ghost electric type. It's based on energy drinks in general, with the energy that these drinks give our bodies translating into the energy that electricity gives the technology it powers. It evolves into Energized. It is said that trying to take a sip of one of them can leave you so hyperactive and jittery that you have insomnia for days. These forms came about as the popularity of energy drinks in Cadia began to rise. Let's move on to this flying type Sinistea based on Red Bull. Get it? Because it gives you wings? Pokemon would probably never make a brand connection this direct, but we couldn't resist the pun. And it makes for a fun flying type, with the wings being made of the drink exploding out of the can. When the can is opened all the way, it unleashes the true being inside. Its evolution? Polteageist. This ghastly-faced winged bull is not only a combination of Polteageist, Red Bull's name and slogan, but also refers to the Lamassu, Assyrian protector deities that are depicted as human-faced bulls with bird wings. Lamassu aren't the only winged creatures in the Assyrian mythos, though. There are also winged genies, which appear alongside Lamassu in Assyrian sculpture. Poltergeist itself resembles these winged genies, with its can acting as a sort of genie's lamp. Being around both Sinistea and Poltergeist makes you feel floating and light, like you're safe as long as these Pokemon are on your team, which also leaves you feeling energized and ready to take on any challenge ahead of you. And you know what else makes me feel safe? Today's sponsor, Surfshark VPN. Now that places are opening back up, I've been traveling more, and of course I have to bring work with me. So it's good to know that wherever I go, I am safe with Surfshark VPN on my many devices. Surfshark keeps you safe by encrypting your online data and routing your connection through another server anywhere in the world. Not only does it keep you safe from DDoS attacks and data breaches, but also opens up content that may be restricted in your area. Let's say you want to watch The Office, but oops, it looks like it's not available on the US Netflix. Well, let me just change my location to good old Galler, and there it is, all 9 seasons. So if you sign up using my link in the description and use code PRAGMAGIC, not only will you be massively supporting the channel and myself, but you will also receive a massive discount of 83% off and 3 months free. On top of that, if you're not completely satisfied, there is a 30-day money-back guarantee. So there is no reason to not click the link and try Surfshark today. There is no such thing as being too safe online, so click the link below and use code PRAGMAGIC. Thank you so much to Surfshark VPN for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to it. Moving on from one kind of caffeinated drink to another, we have this ground-type Sinistea and Polteageist based on a good old cup of joe, with this of course being based around the pun of ground coffee. These Sinistea are actually found cold, but when it evolves into Polteageist, it is always steaming, and can use the steam to communicate via hand signs. These variants are very popular in Unova, so much so that the imported population has begun to extend into the wild and into other neighboring regions. Let's keep this coffee train moving into this dark-type Sinistea and Polteageist. Continuing the pun from the last one, but instead this is a dark roast coffee. Not only is the roast dark, but so is their attitude, being the sort of gloomy emo type. I imagine that they're like the overworked killjoy office worker who drinks the coffee that looks like the brown sludge like in the cartoons, but in all actuality is the coffee they drink. The classic glass coffee pot of this Polteageist really sells this idea to me. Mondays, am I right? With their dark typing and general demeanor, these forms are obviously a bit more aggressive than the others, and the angrier they are, the more hot they become. Now let's go from an absolutely bitter form of coffee to an absolutely sweet form with this fairy-type Sinistea. It is based around those hyper-sweet, super colorful, barely qualifies as coffee milkshake type drinks you can get at Starbucks, like the unicorn or tie-dye frappuccinos, which plays very well into the fairy-type's affinity for sweet food Pokemon. It evolves into this. To be honest, I sat with this and for the life of me couldn't come up with a solid name for it. Like, it is just a bit too far removed to be a Polteageist variant, and I thought Polteageist as in cappuccino, but I'm not 100% on it. If you have a fitting name idea, let me know down in the comments. With their super sweet demeanor and taste, these forms became very popular in big cities, and have started being exported all over the Pokemon world. And from one kind of shake to another, we move on to the fighting type with this protein shake-based Sinistea. This flexing form is based on the pre-packaged kinds of protein shakes that you see at Walmart and feel oddly judged when you walk near them. Wait, Is that just me? Well, anyway, it evolves into Polteageist. And that name could not have worked out better. Get it? Worked out? Okay, I'll stop. In any case, Polteageist is a true gym bro in a true gym bro shaker cup. Like the kind you prepare from home before you go get absolutely swole. Speaking of swole, Polteageist absolutely is. Those big old protein-packed muscles aren't just for show either. Able to deliver an absolutely yoked shadow punch. Obviously, these two are popular with athletic trainer classes like hikers and swimmers. After that form, I'm sure you're feeling the burn. So how about these fire-type forms for Sinistea and Polteageist based on hot cocoa? This one was an absolute given. When you think of hot drinks, hot cocoa is one of the first that comes to mind. These forms radiate a comforting, cozy warmth that leaves you feeling friendly, which all in all makes for great companions during the winter, or those who are active during the snow, such as skiers or snowplow operators. Also, one detail I love is how the cup on Polteageist looks like a little sweater. So cute. While we're on the topic of milk-based drinks, let's talk about these normal type Sinistea and Polteageist based on Moo Moo milk. With the normal type being associated with every bovine Pokemon that exists, naturally, the normal type fits this variant best, as well as the fact that milk is a fairly standard or regular thing. Once evolved, Polteageist actually takes on attributes of our beloved Miltank, but the good ones, not its weird nipples. Oh my god, they're staring at me, aren't they? Speaking of standard, another thing that is very standard on Earth is water. So obviously the water type Sinistea and Polteageist had to be water. Sinistea is also based on an in-game item, the freshwater, and Polteageist is in one of those 5-liter jugs you see in office buildings, which I actually used to buy and bring home myself. Just saying, mountain water tastes better than tap water. These forms can purify the water they touch, filtering out any toxins to make it clean, drinkable water. And a way this could manifest is in an ability like Filter, or maybe a custom ability or move that purifies poison-type moves and turns them into water-type moves. Speaking of poison, let's move on to a group of variants I like to call the please don't demonetize me, I'm just talking about adult beverages. If you're of proper age, drink responsibly. You hear that, YouTube? First up, naturally for the purple and red inclined poison type, we have this wine-based Sinistea and its evolution, Polter Wine. I'm sure I don't really need to explain why we picked these for the poison type, right? Well, an additional inspiration is the poisoned wine trope in many movies, so these two like to trick people into drinking them, which of course makes the drinker feel sick shortly after. From what some would consider a refined drink to what others may consider sewer water, myself included, the steel type is repped by this variant of Sinistea and a new evolution, Polterkeg, which are based on beer, with Sinistea being in a can and Polterkeg being a keg. And its name also sounds like powder keg, which drinking from either of these two would be like. Them both coming out of the sides of the objects they're in is a reference to the act of shotgunning a beer, where you poke a hole in the side of the can and try to drink the whole thing in one go. Once again, just to be clear, YouTube gods, I don't condone these actions, I am just explaining them. These Pokemon are always dizzy and can never seem to navigate around well. Even being around them can make you feel sick to your stomach. I imagine that they and Spindo would be great friends. Moving on to some harder drinks, we have these rock-type variants. They are based on the pun of whiskey stones, which are used to help chill the drink without diluting it. I mean, have you had lemonade with ice in it? After a while, it just becomes sweet water. In any case, these forms aren't the smartest. You could say they have rocks for brains, which Polteageist literally does. Honestly, I feel as though this really isn't a Polteageist variant, but a new evolution once again, but couldn't find a good name. Maybe Polteageist? I don't know. Regardless, it is modeled after a very famous brand of whiskey whose name I won't say for branding purposes, but you know the one. The last of this section is the bug type, with this Sinistea and another new evolution, Polteageist, which of course has to reference tequila and the infamous worm that resides within it, which has been replaced by a Weedle in this case. With Polteageist, the spirit of the deceased Weedle becomes one with the Pokemon upon evolution, like a fusion. Now that's a real mixed drink. Alright, let's get back to some drinks that everyone can enjoy. How about a couple sweet ones? Starting with the sweetest drink of all, soda, or pop, or soda pop, however you say it. So here is a Psychic type orange soda variant of Sinistea. The Psychic typing comes in with oranges being particularly good for your brain, as the vitamin C within them helps protect your brain from the decay of aging. Which is not to say that soda has any of those properties, but you get the idea. This Sinistea evolves when you give them one of the many mints introduced in Generation 8. It works like that classic science experiment of putting Mentos into your soda, and doing so evolves it into Eingeist. Its name, design, and typing all match the world-renowned theoretical physicist Albert Einstein, with the fizz of the soda matching the wild hair Einstein is well known for. The other sweet variant is one you might find at your local 7-Eleven, being a slushy variant of Sinistea with a new evolution, Polteageist. I would not recommend holding these bonds, however, as touching them for even a second can cause severe frostbite. Talk about brain freeze. You might have to cuddle up with the fire variants after an encounter with these two. Now let's end with two lines that are actually based on tea. First is the grass type, which naturally had to be based on green tea, with it being non-oxidized and having health benefits and medicinal properties. So here they are. While it is meant to be a grass ghost type, it could easily be a grass rock type design-wise. These two forms have nutrients within them that can heal most common illnesses. They would probably have abilities like healer or natural cure. And finally, for the dragon type, we have these forms that are based on oolong tea. Oolong literally translates to black dragon in Chinese. As you can see, they both have draconic-shaped liquid, seemingly with a mind of their own. This is actually the arcane energy within them manifesting in its own form, as they can't completely contain their full power. And that's a Sinistea and Polteageist of every type. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.